lumen on the terminal bronchiole. So then the outermost layer will still be called adventitia. After the terminal bronchiole follows the respiratory bronchiole. Identify that structure. Identify the pointed structure. The terminal bronchiole. Okay. So that is the low power magnification appearance of a respiratory bronchiole. So compare that now with the appearance of a terminal bronchiole. Okay? So we will be able to see the complete circumference of the wall of the terminal bronchiole. Pagdating naman sa respiratory bronchiole, mayroong interruptions sa wall ng respiratory bronchiole. Meron siyang respiratory bronchiole because the interruptions are actually attachments of the alveolar sacs to the wall of the respiratory bronchiole. That is why at this level, the respiratory tract, mayroon ng gas exchange between the inspired air and the blood because of the presence of the alveolar sacs in the wall of the respiratory bronchiole. That's the name, respiratory bronchiole. So the components of the wall will still be the same with that of the terminal bronchiole. So lining epithelium, however, will be purely simple, columnar to cuboidal. Wala nang stratification. Should the stratification dito na level ng respiratory tract, and then those pointed tissues are smooth muscle fibers. And then the outermost layer will still be called lamina propria.
Outermost?
Sorry, adventitia. After the respiratory bronchiole, what will follow? Alveolar ducts. Now, ang alveolar sacs, they will look almost similar with the respiratory bronchioles. Mayroong interruptions ng alveoli sa kanilang wall. However, the lining epithelium will be flat already. Simple squamous epithelium. And then underneath the simple squamous epithelium, you will still see smooth muscle fibers. So the lining epithelium of the alveoli will be the same. Simple squamous epithelium. However, wala na ngayong smooth muscles in the wall of the alveoli. The smooth muscles will be present only in the alveolar ducts, which are covered by the simple squamous epithelium. Alveolar duct. So we will now discuss the histology of the alveoli. What is the epithelium lining the alveolar cells? Simple squamous epithelium. So that's the simple squamous epithelium. And then, in between the simple squamous epithelium are the capillaries. Yan. It's a capillary containing red blood cells. Another capillary. What type of epithelium is lining the capillaries? Simple squamous pa rin. Now, peculiar to the capillaries, in the alveolar spaces, the epithelium or the epithelial cells of the capillaries are sharing the same basement membrane with the squamous cells lining the alveolar sacs. So, yan siya. That is a capillary. The endothelium niya, a simple squamous epithelium, will share the basement membrane of that simple squamous epithelium. That is so to make the wall of the alveoli very thin, para walang impediment sa passage ng gas. So oxygen from the inspired air towards the red blood cells, and then in return, what gas will be released from the blood to the alveolar spaces? Carbon dioxide. Now, although the alveoli are lined by simple squamous epithelium, there are actually two types of squamous cells lining the alveoli. They are the type 1 pneumocytes and type 2 pneumocytes. The usual squamous cells are the type 1 pneumocytes. Type 2 produces surfactant. What is the significance? What is the function of surfactant?
Prevents lung collapse.
It prevents adhesion of the wall of the alveoli during inhalation or exhalation. Exhalation. Kasi during inhalation, mag-expand ang alveoli. During exhalation, magko-collapse. So, delikado pag walang surfactant because the wall will adhere with each other. The wall of the alveoli. So, para patent pa rin ang alveolar sacs during exhalation, nandoon ang surfactant. Aside from preventing the adhesion of the alveolar wall, another purpose of surfactant is maintaining maintenance of the negative surface tension, or reducing the surface tension in the alveoli. So, anong significance ng reduction of the surface tension in the alveoli? Nandiyan ang surfactant para with the entry of air in the alveoli, madali lang. Wala masyadong force na kailangan para ma-open ang alveoli during inhalation. Kasi negative ang surface tension niya. Negative ang pressure inside the alveoli. So, prevent collapse and then maintenance of the negative surface tension. So, present also inside the alveoli are those pointed cells. They are the dust cells, which are actually what type of white blood cell?
Macrophage. Mast cells? Dust
What
cells?
type of WBC?
Di ba macrophage?
Macrophage. So, they are actually more commonly called the alveolar macrophages or dust cells. So, the presence of the alveolar macrophages in the alveoli will represent actually the last line of defense of the lungs against infection. Kasi the defenses of the respiratory tract will begin with are inside the nose and then eventually to the respiratory passages and then eventually pag mayroon pang microorganisms that are able to reach the alveoli, they will be met and engulfed by the alveolar macrophages. Ano yung cell na present sa epithelium ng bronchioles? Aside from the epithelial cells. Have you discussed the Clara cells?
Yes.
What is the function of the secretion of the Clara cells? Okay, that should be discussed in the lecture that will now be your assignment here. Okay, so notice how thin the wall of the alveoli is. So that's a capillary containing the red blood cells. That's the wall of the alveolus. Para madali lang mag-diffuse ang oxygen and carbon dioxide. That should be it for our slide discussion. Recent time, important component of the bronchial wall are the respiratory passages. So, epithelium, lamina propria, present in the lamina propria are those white blood cells. They are actually lymphocytes. So, their function is to produce antibodies. So, which will be released at the mucus fluid lining the respiratory epithelium. Now, what is the specific name of the antibody produced by these lymphocytes, by those lymphocytes?